It's March 10th, 2020, and I'm going to bring you guys in the lab today. I'm going to show you what we're working on for spring production. But before we get into this video, I've just released the second edition for my book. This is How to Start and Succeed Growing Mushrooms. This book is actually our business plan, and I've probably done about 6 revisions of this since 2014. This is how we got started and how we got a bank loan, and since then it's been revised several times just so that our business is staying current. And then in 2018 I decided to rewrite this into a book, and I've pretty much doubled the content of this for 2020. And this is something that I've been meaning to do for a while. I'm really excited to finally offer this for our students. The reason why we offer this business plan is because we do offer the mentorship program, and I want to have a document that really has a lot of value for my students. But I do recognize that a lot of people cannot travel here for various reasons, but maybe you want to get your hands on this because nothing really exists like this in the industry right now. This is a very business focused book on our business plan. And it's very detailed in what we do and how we become successful in everything that we do here on my farm. So we offer this book. It is quite expensive. It's $500. But just understand that this book costs us $6,000 to produce in 2014. I worked with a business plan consultant to get the right literature so that we could get investment into our company. And since then, I've taken a kind of a viewpoint on, I wanted to map out how I've become successful and the struggles that we had to build up this business, and really just how to become an entrepreneur. That is really what the meat of this book is, and it gives you the details of how we do things now. And this is a great document. If you do take my course, you take this home with you. You don't have to worry about taking notes. You have everything here. And if you can't come to my course, this is a great starting point if you guys really want to dive into how I've got my business to where it is today. So for this book, we cover a lot of different stuff, but the chapters that we have in here, we have how to stand out. So we go over my farm and the demand for mushrooms and what that looks like within North America. We do a section on just leveraging social media. If you guys have been following my YouTube channel for a couple of years now, I decided to write a chapter on that journey and how we built up our YouTube channel, and even just kind of get into how successful YouTube has been for my business. So I have a chapter dedicated to that. I have a really nice chapter on the state of the BC mushroom industry. Now this is very specific to my province, but it gives you an idea of what investors are looking for, what kind of research you should be looking for, and just an overall view of a specific market. And if you're in British Columbia, obviously this chapter would be really exciting for you. Really awesome chapter that I'm excited about is the health benefits of medicinal mushrooms. This is something that I'm always asked about, and let's be honest, I grow mushrooms. I like it for the culinary reason, but I wasn't really well read in the medicinal side of it. So this is a chapter that for me is really close to my heart, and I wanted to do a lot of research and put this into this book. So there's a lot of value in that chapter. And then the meat of this book, we have starting a mushroom business. We also have how to set up a commercial lab. And then we get into cultivating mushrooms specifically on hardwood, our super pasteurization process and how we've developed that into our new wine bin steam tanks and why that works well for us. We get into challenges with wood chips, why we use sawdust. And then specifically our grow room design and how that works for us. We have a parts list for everything. And a really awesome chapter is on season extension and how we push our season, and we really do produce mushrooms about 8 months out of the year. Whereas 6 months of those, I would consider those our full production months. But season extension is a big part of my business, how we're able to push the business beyond what is expected. And then another big component to this book is the marketing and sales strategy. And I have a chapter dedicated specifically for that. And then we have lots of appendices. We have our entire culture list. If you guys are interested in buying cultures, that comes with the book. We have a food and safety action plan. We have our data sheets for harvesting, for the lab, for greenhouse production, and we have our entire grow room design parts list in the back here as well. And really, this book is just meant to give you an overview of what it takes to be successful and how we got started and where we're headed in 2020 and beyond. So today in the lab, I'm going to be working on all these jars, and I have a bunch of orders that I got to fill today. We sell cultures all over the world, and that business is picking up for us quite a bit. For our season though, we're just getting started. We have a lot of different spawn in stages, mostly tree and king oyster up there. These are the spawn trials that I did about a month ago. I'll leave a video link just at the top of the screen if you guys haven't seen that video. We're playing around with millet and oats, and what I learned so far is that everything was a little too wet. And I mentioned that I was kind of working with TR Davis on this, and he takes the grain that's been soaking in the hot water for about an hour, and then it goes in a mixer and he adds gypsum, whereas I just threw this on a table, added a little gypsum, I bagged it right away. So letting some of that steam kind of vapor off would have been beneficial in this process. I also found out that oats holds water a lot more than millet does. So we're going to be focusing our efforts on millet going forward, and we'll make some adjustments. I found a little bit of bacteria in this bag of millet, and then I expanded our millet oat combo out on a plate, and we also had a hardwood fuel pellet sawdust bag here for comparison, and this didn't grow bacteria, and this is actually just fruiting mushrooms right now. So I suspect that I need to sterilize this longer. We did 18 hours, and I need to reduce the water for sure, and that could be the reason that we're seeing some bacteria pop up, or it could just be pink oyster. So the bacteria was specific with the pink oyster, and then when I expanded the chestnut out, I didn't see any bacteria. So needless to say, there's still a lot of research ongoing for that, but we're going to be playing around with some black pearl. That's a new strain that has hit the mushroom scene for about a year now. Really excited to start growing that. So I got some jars of the black pearl, and we call that 079 here. This is a hybrid strain that I don't really have complete notes for, but it's kind of very meaty like a king oyster, but it's definitely not king oyster. It's a hybrid. And we have more of our tree oyster 005. And we are going to be playing around with some new stuff. So this is Andrew Reed's from Mossy Creek Mushroom. Shout out to you. This is your snow goose mushroom. This is a white oyster mushroom that's going to be similar to elm, but he says it grows well in the cold, so I'm going to be trying that out. We also got his bear's head. He might call this comb tooth, but it's like a branching Heratium species, so similar to lion's mane, but it gets these branch formations. So I've not had success with a similar species in the past, but I know his strain is wonderful, so I'm really looking forward to growing that. Finally got my hands on Shiitake 3790. We're calling that 034. So we'll be playing around with that probably in the fall. And we also got Andrew Reed's King Blue here, another hybrid species that we're going to try. Really excited to have Lamberts on my farm. So this strain is a blue oyster variety that's a commercial oyster that a lot of people grow. And then for us, we're just starting to expand out a whole deck of our lion's mane. So that's next. And then we're going to be getting our pearl oyster 050 going. And we'll be expanding a lot of these too. Like we got our blue oyster here as well. And I'll be getting some more of the black pearl going. And then we'll be moving into our summer strain production, moving on to plates probably in about a month or so. But before I let you go, one big note I wanted to mention is we've been having trouble reviving our pink oyster, and I have customers waiting, and we were down to our last test tubes, and they're just molding. Like, you guys can see that here. So like this would be fine. I take it out, and then I transfer, and it just starts growing green mold, and pretty much all the plates are going like this. And I'm down to my last test tube, I swear to God. And this obviously molded right here, but look at that. We have one little speck of mycelium coming back to life, and that is it. Otherwise, that strain is going to be gone. Well, so close to being gone. Anyways, I happen to have a grain jar in the fridge, and I was able to expand out a piece of grain, and obviously that mycelium is great. But what I really want is to revive it from the test tube, because we do keep track of the generations, and that is the tricky part of keeping cultures like we do. We have I believe 79 strains now, and they just stay in refrigeration here in these Tupperware containers. And strains like pink oyster, any kind of like warm weather strain, like almond portobello, which is Agaricus balazzi. We have milky mushroom here. You know, these strains really don't do well with refrigeration, so I'll often leave them out. And with our pink oyster strain, I've always kept in the fridge, but every 6 months I got to go back and check it. And for whatever reason, like, I'm not sure, maybe it might be my fault, but we pretty much almost lost it. So I just wanted to point out how close it can be to losing a strain, but how sweet it can be if you have a little bit of life there. So we're going to expand that onto plates today, and I'm going to get those going, and then I'm going to make some backup test tubes, and we're going to save that culture and get those out to order. Other new strains we have, I did a huge trade with T.R. Davis from Earth Angel Mushrooms. Shout out to you. So these are all in test tubes now. I don't have my notes here, but I have a bunch of different shiitakes. You know, TR loves shiitakes, so one's from Brazil, one's from Japan, 3790, which you guys have heard about, and then some other stuff. And then the same stuff I just talked about. We have the Lamberts I got off of him, and I got we call this 052, that's our 3015 from Amasil. And what else we got here? I got the Black Pearl off of him as well. Really excited about that. And yeah, there's probably something else in there I'm not thinking about. But anyway, so we always collect strains, and we always have strains to offer for people that are interested. And this is kind of the process. So I'm going to bring you guys into the lab, and we're going to get this culture saved, and then we'll catch you in the next video.